All right. Good evening, everyone. I want to welcome you to the Butler Township Board of Trustees meeting on Tuesday, March 24th, 2026, starting at 5:30 p.m. As we are called to order, will you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, republic for which it
All right. We will move to our third agenda item, which is regarding the minutes of February 23rd and March 10th.
I have no comments.
I have none either. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion to approve the regular meeting minutes of February 23rd, 2026, and the workshop meeting minutes of March 10th, 2026.
I will second the motion.
Ms. Pruszynski?
Yes.
Mr. Jackson?
Yes. All right. Our next section is for public comments. Gentlemen, thank you for those of you who are in the audience for coming and being present today. We want to give the public opportunity to be able to share. And public comments, though, just a reminder, we limit them to 3 minutes per speaker. Individuals must come to the podium. Up to my right, please state your name and address for the record. And then you can speak once. Public comment period is intended for statements, concerns, rather than dialogue. After the public comment portion has concluded, the board or the applicant may respond to questions if the information is readily available or provide a response at a later time if further review is required. So if there are speakers with additional questions following the meeting, we would encourage you to contact one of the trustees or Ms. Vogel to discuss concerns further. So, gentlemen, if there are any public comment tonight?
I would like to, please make your way to the podium. I'd like to just interrupt the meeting. I would like to make a motion to amend the agenda this evening to consider the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, or compensation of an employee or employees.
Okay. So that would conclude after our 7th agenda item on a motion to approve the financial statements.
Correct. And then we would adjourn executive session, reconvene to the regular meeting, and no further business would take place.
Okay. I will second the motion to amend the agenda as stated.
Ms. Pruszynski?
Yes.
Mr. Jackson?
Yes. All right. We'll move forward. Thank you, sir.
Apologies for the interruption.
Brad Henning. I have an issue with some stuff. I received a letter from Farmer on 127 about a trailer that's parked in my driveway. Back in 2015, whoever was previous, I talked with him, told me it was fine as long as it was sitting on my gravel driveway, no big deal. So this gentleman, I'll try to contact him, but I was kind of busy, so I didn't get to it. Well, I left out on a trip with my trailer. While I was gone, second letter, dated on the day that I was gone, saying my trailer's still sitting in the driveway, and now there's going to be fines associated, whatever. It's kind of impossible for my trailer to be sitting in the driveway when it was 487 miles. So I called this Nathan guy, proceeded to talk to him, or tried to talk to him. Told him, I said, well, there's no way you saw my trailer. Of course, he was arrogant with me, saying, well, I saw it there. I have receipts here of I blew out 2 tires, one north of Lexington, the other one about an hour from where our trip was. I got credit card receipts. I said, so how did you see my trailer? I saw it there. I got into a further discussion. Like, well, you've had another thing. I had a camper supposedly in my driveway. I own a camper. Well, yeah, you do. I sent it to you on this date. And he starts to read it. He goes, oh, well, I sent it to the wrong address. Okay. Well, no, because when I drove by again, it was gone. I don't own a camper, so I don't know what you're looking at. So my problem is, first off, the man's very arrogant. Shouldn't be that way as a public servant. Secondly, like I said, he didn't care if I had receipts. He's like, well, I don't care. Like, your receipts don't mean anything. Your credit card charges could have been 2 or 3 days after that. Well, That's not how credit cards charge work. My problem is if you're sitting at my house, which I'm not going to name names of who it is, but I can look around and see other violations. I contacted my neighbors and a few other people around the township that would fall under this. They haven't received letters, yet I did. And I tried to contact you guys through the website. Haven't heard nothing back.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I did not see that message, or I would have called you.
Yeah, so that was well over 2 weeks ago. Kind of get concluded.
All right. Well, I'll just say, first of all, thank you for bringing this to our attention. Thank you for coming and coming to a public meeting and talking about things that are happening. If you wouldn't mind staying until after we conclude the meeting, and then Ms. Vogel, I think, would be willing to have a conversation, and we can further dialogue on how we can resolve the matter.
Okay.
So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Henning.
Any other questions tonight, gentlemen, or comments? All right. This concludes our public comments section. We will move forward with our fifth agenda item on administrators' recommendations. Ms. Vogel?
Okay, resolution number 26-13, a resolution approving the permanent appropriations, revenue budget, and certificate of estimated resources available for expenditure for Butler Township for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2026. This resolution approves our final budget that we previously approved back in November, and there were just a few amendments to the budget. Those are all listed on your agendas. Some of it's contracted services that were adjusted, Bureau of Workers' Compensation, and then a payment to Crime Stoppers from the Law Enforcement Trust Fund, and the Harson TIF. This would be our final payment for our Benchwood Station project. So the total appropriations for 2026, $16,262,062, and then total revenue, $14,591,714.93.
All right. Thank you for your labors on that. Any comments?
I have none.
Right.
I make a motion to approve resolution number 26-13, a resolution approving the permanent appropriations, revenue budget, and certificate of estimated resources available for expenditure for Butler Township for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2026.
I second.
Ms. Pruszynski?
Yes.
Mr. Jackson?
Yes.
Okay, next, 26-14, a resolution authorizing the township administrator to contract with Green Tech for lawn care services for various township properties and right-of-ways. This total contract amounts to $25,075, and that's if all the rounds and services are done throughout the year, so it's on a la carte basis, the spraying and the mulching and pruning and weeding and all that. And this will take care of the Cloverleaf area through the Singing Ridge TIF. The Harson TIF will cover all of the new Benchwood Station improvements. So all the islands, the pedestrian areas, the roundabout, all of that. The cemetery is included in here. So that's obviously covered through the cemetery fund. And then the road district fund covers some other right-of-way areas. General fund covers the government center property. And the road district fund covers the service department.
Okay. So just to clarify, so this is covering all of these different specific areas, and you're using some of the TIF funds in some of these strategic places in order to cover things to be able to assist the service department.
Correct.
Got it. Makes sense. I have no other questions.
Right. I make a motion to approve resolution number 26-14, a resolution authorizing the township administrator to contract with Green Tech for lawn care services for various township properties and rights of ways.
I will second the motion.
Ms. Pruszynski?
Yes.
Mr. Jackson?
Yes. All right. Well, we will move forward then with our sixth item of business tonight, which is informal business. Chief Porter.
I only have two things that I wanted to bring to attention before our next meeting. We have a levy information meeting coming up on 3:30 at 9 a.m. here. And then we'll also have a coffee with cops on 4/7 at Winans at 9 a.m.
What's the date on the first one?
3:30, March 30th here. We'll go from 9 to about 10:30.
And Chief, are those just informal, kind of come anytime during those hours? Will there be any formal presentation at any point?
Yeah, we'll probably do a very, very informal presentation, slide presentation, get people to show up and everything like that.
Okay.
And then we'll do a Q&A throughout the.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Chief Alig?
I have no report.
All right. Service Director Barnett.
Give out a thank you to the police department and the fire department for the help during the windstorms. We were a little bit overwhelmed during that time, and both Dan and Chief Porter's crews helped us out quite a bit. So got it done and got out, but thank you for the help.
All right. That's great. All right. Thank you, Mr. Barnett. Ms. Vogel.
Let's see. First of all, I just want to announce that we got notified that we received a grant for demolition of the old Wendy's building there on Miller Lane.
Great.
So $75,000 to go towards that demolition from CDBG. It was a fast track grant process. We applied last week and got notified this week.
Wow.
So, yes, so very exciting. We've not received the contract yet, but as soon as I do, we will approve the agreement and then move forward with hiring a contractor. So, very nice. And then, just so you guys know, if you didn't see, the engineers luncheon will be April 8th at 11:30 a.m. If you're able to attend, I can send in an RSVP for you. And then Mary Kilsheimer wanted me to make sure to announce the National Day of Prayer that will be held on May 7th. And I can also submit those RSVPs for you guys as a group if needed. And I think that is it. Our community newsletter was set to go out originally this week, and I was hoping to get some of our dates on our levy information sessions in that newsletter, but it's going to be delayed just a bit. So we might try to get out a postcard with some of those dates on it to residents so that the ones that aren't on social media, can see when those dates and times are. So I think that is all I have.
All right. Thank you for that report. Yep. And good news on a lot of fronts. Mr. Brush?
We are sufficiently collateralized, and I check that periodically. I like to say it on the record in case we get audited for it. Also, thanks to Ms. Vogel for doing putting a presentation together that I presented at the auditors conference last Thursday. Pretty well attended conference. I was impressed with the amount of people there. We actually had an employee there. I know she didn't fall asleep at least. But I appreciate your help with that.
Yeah. Thanks for doing the presentation.
Go team.
Yeah.
All right. I would like to make a motion to excuse Mr. Mike Thein from this meeting.
I second the motion.
Jackson?
Yes.
Ms. Pruszynski?
Yes.
All right. Trustee Pruszynski.
Okay, Mr. Henning, would you forward that email to me again? I'll give you an email address since I did not see that first email you sent to us. Okay, thank you. Also, this past time period, we had Youth in Government Day, which was off the hook. It was amazing. I wanted to thank our staff for all their hard work and what their loyalty to our community and our youth in our community, as well as the Vandalia Butler Optimist Club and their sponsors who make it all possible, and the Butler High School staff. Let's see what else we have. Somebody took my town hall on March 30th. That's all I have.
Great. I will just say before we conclude that there are a few things that I was remarking on last week. My wife and I went down and visited with a a retirement age couple that moved into our neighborhood last year. And they moved in from out of town, so they weren't originally from this area, but they moved into Butler Township, and my wife and I got to know them. And she had a knee surgery just within this last month and has been in recovery. But we went and visited with them, and it was so fun. We sat on their front porch area, and they were talking about all the different neighbors and people that they've connected with over their time coming into Butler Township. And I just want to say that that is my favorite part about our community. And that just those relationships. I have to make sure that I look semi put together when my wife and I go out for walks in our neighborhood, because if I don't, we will always see people we know, and people will talk to us about things going on, and I love that. And I think that it's definitely something very special. So my wife and I were remarking on it a couple days ago when we were on our afternoon walk. My wife just said, "I feel very safe in this neighborhood," and so I am very thankful for that. And so, to our staff, and I know specifically to our police department, and then also just to our residents that all pitch in and take care of each other. I think that is a testament to a strong community. And I was reflecting on that this week, and I'm very thankful. So that is all that we have for this meeting as far as informal business. So we will move forward then with our last item before we move into executive session, which is related to the finances.
Excuse me. I'd like to make a motion to approve the financial statements and pay the bills of the township.
I will second the motion.
Ms. Pruszynski?
Yes.
Mr. Jackson?
Yes.
Mr. Jackson.
All right. Last item on our agenda then, if you can make a motion for us to move into that, then we will conclude the open portion of our meeting.
All right. I have to pull up my language. All right. So I'd like to make a motion to go into executive session at 5:47 to consider the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, or compensation of an employee or employees.
I will second the motion.
Ms. Pruszynski?
Yes.
Mr. Jackson?
Yes.
1747. Thank you.
All right. And when we come back, we will not conduct any other business. We will adjourn as soon as we come out, and that will include Trustees Pruszynski, Mr. Brush, and myself. And that is the conclusion of our meeting.